What is up, Hawk fans? The Iowa Hawkeyes finally pick up a quad one victory on the road. I guess that means that the sunglasses come off, huh? Some of y'all really do like the sunglasses, so, I really considered wearing them. But in the spirit of what they were meant to be worn as, a string of losses in a row, commiserating these losses, kind of a way to poke fun at the losses, as it were. Since they won in a hard-fought battle, I decided to take them off. By the way, guys, I am sick. I'm definitely under the weather. I don't know how I went to work today. I'm sure you guys can tell in my voice it's very hoarse. So I'm going to do my best to power through this. But just know, I'm probably not going to be my normal up and chipper self. So just to give a quick summary of this game, the Iowa Hawkeyes did not start off the game well. Rutgers came out and they were hitting shots. They hit a few in a row. I believe there was even some three-point shots in there. It wasn't like one of the worst starts that we've seen, but it was inching towards being an issue. It was inching towards, a 15 to 20 point deficit, just like that, especially on the road. Hostile environment with two future first round NBA draft picks in Rutgers. But Iowa climbed their way back. They inched closer, and they even were leading. Midway through the first, Rutgers gained some of the momentum, not some, much of the momentum, and carried it into halftime, hitting multiple shots in a row in the final minute. They were up 42-33 at half. And in the second half, to begin, it kind of went back and forth, but Iowa just stayed in the game. And when you're on the road in the Big Ten, if you want any chance to win, you either have to be the team that punches first and punches so hard to where it's hard for the opponent to get back. Mentally, they're so out of the game that it's hard for them to climb back in the game. Or two, you have to remain close enough to where you can try and knock down some shots under 10 minutes or so. Sometimes later than that even, to gain the lead and really put pressure on the home team, because all the pressure is on the home team at that point, to close out the game and win the game. And so Iowa, under the 10-minute mark, really dominated. Josh Dix finally put Iowa on his shoulders. The dude, guys, I know basketball, okay? I know good basketball players when I see them, and I've been telling you, Josh Dix is a dang good basketball player. The way he shoots the ball, he can get any shot he wants, especially with the step back that he has, the elevation that he has on his jump shot. Pretty much every single one of his shots are so cleanly. He gets them off so cleanly. It boggles the mind why he is not, before this, why he's not shooting more. Again, honestly, guys, this dude can really get pretty much whatever shot he wants. And he knocked down some big shots. He had a beautiful step back mid-range, really showed off his repertoire, his scoring arsenal, being able to score at all three levels. One, he had a great cut to the basket. He had Ace Bailey on his back, gave a pump fake. He flew right by, laid it up at the rim. The second one was a step back, mid-range jumper, and the way it went in, just boom, was so beautiful. And then at top of the key, three-point shot, he nailed it. That I've told you guys, this, if there's any positive to what we've seen, I don't want anybody to be injured. I don't want Iowa to struggle. But as an Iowa fan, we have to try and find positives. Heck, even Iowa as a team, they have to find positives. And I've said that with Owen Freeman out, especially as well Drew Thelwell, who I knew he was going to be out this game. Josh Dix had to step up. And that is one of the positives is hopefully now he can see that he can be the guy. Okay. All things being equal, Peyton Sandfort, all things being equal, Fran McCaffrey comes back next year. All the guys for Iowa comes, which is a big if, return next year. Again, it's a big if. All of this is a big if. Josh Dix is going to be the guy next year. I think he should be the guy this year. That's definitely one of the positives to this little spell is hopefully Josh Dix is able to see that he is that good of a player, because sometimes, especially for players like Josh Dix who mentally, and we've seen it before with like Jared Utoff, you saw Jared Utoff in his senior year. It's like, dang, dude, you were this good your senior year. It's hard for me to believe that you weren't at least partially this talented the year before. But the thing is, guys like that, they tend to kind of have like a low-key personality. And they're not arrogant. And so at times, their biggest battle is between the ears, having some of that self-confidence, even bordering on arrogance, to take that step forward before they're probably ready to. There's some guys who do have that mentality, but there's other guys that are more low-key. Joe Wieskamp was another guy like that are kind of even keel. And they're the type of guys that need to see themselves have that sort of success in order to really consistently take that next step forward. So this dude balled out. Iowa won the second half 51-31, winning the game 84-73. Josh Dix had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Great game. Really closed it out for Iowa, especially in that under 10 to 5 minute. Although there were a few guys that made some big plays for Iowa. Peyton Sandfort, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 20 points. Sadao Traore, Brock Harding, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 13 points. I thought he played well. I thought he played much more controlled, relaxed. I think he was playing at his pace, and it's good to see his development. I'm very optimistic about Brock Harding next year. I really am. Brock Harding, and I said this before, he reminds me a lot of Purdue's point guard. They're similar in stature. They have a similar game. They're both very uncanny in how they play the game of basketball and kind of the smoothness in which they play. They have their own flavor. And so, I know the last couple of games he's kind of taken a step back because of the emergence of Drew Thelwell. But it's good to see that he still has it within him to have a game like this. Sadao Traore, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 points. Lajai Dembele, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 9 points. What did I tell you guys? I told you guys that Lajai Dembele, unfortunately, in the development of his game, is not where he needs to be a consistent contributor at the power forward position. Fran McCaffrey tried and was hopeful that he would be that guy, but he wasn't. And I said that he's likely more, especially this year, more of a center. His shot is not terrible, but he is more of a center, a small ball center at 6'9". But even though he's shorter, he's still so thick, especially with his lower half, and he's very long, that it kind of makes up for it. So I feel vindicated on that. I think it was the right move for Iowa to try him out at the center position and see what they have. It's going to be interesting to see if he does continue to do well at the center position. It's going to be interesting to see how things go for next year, especially considering with Owen Freeman coming back, especially considering Lajai Dembele was very much like this at the power forward position. But who knows? Maybe a year of development will really help him out. Price Sanford, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Evan Bronze gave Iowa some good off-the-bench minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Of course, Carter Kingsbury got in there. Chris Taggio got in there. I was debating whether to say this, but when is the last time, and I say this kind of, jokingly, obviously, but when is the last time that you guys have seen a Big Ten team have all white guys on the court at once and be a team that, I know Iowa has struggled, but they're not like bottom of the Big Ten. At least I don't think they are. There was a point in this game where they had, actually multiple points, where they had Carter Kingsbury, both Sanfords, Josh Dix, and Evan Bronze in the game, with Josh Dix and Price Sanford running and Peyton, for that matter, the primary ball handlers. I actually like that lineup, and I think Price Sanford, that'll be an option for him next year. Coming out of high school, Price was much more, he was a point guard for Waukee, whereas Peyton Sanford has kind of always been a wing player. Price has been a big point guard. Him and Tucker DeVries. So I actually did like that lineup. So just to wrap this up, guys, like I said, I'm not feeling the best. It's a good win. Finally, Iowa gets a road victory. They defended well. They clamped down, especially in the second half. They finally competed. I really liked the comments that we heard from Price Sanford, where he said that they were tired of losing. And they did seem to be mentally just tired of it. And I was very hopeful that they would put together a good game against Rutgers. I know Rutgers obviously is not one of the better Big Ten teams. They're 12-13. But this still is a quad one victory. Will it end up being that? Time will tell. There's a good chance Rutgers slides out of the top 75. But for now, it's a quad one victory. They're 12-13, but still, guys, they have 2 first-round guys. So this wasn't an easy game. There's no easy games in the Big Ten. There's just not. So, hey, listen, guys, Iowa has struggled lately. I'm looking for any semblance of positivity, and I do think that Iowa competed harder. They were more physical, and they made more winning plays, and they were tougher than a lot of the games that we've seen this year, especially on the road. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Actually, you know what? Let's go over the team stats really quickly. Iowa shot 50.7% compared to Rutgers 48.3%. 3-point percentage, Iowa was abysmal, 7-25 for 28%, whereas Rutgers actually did well. They shot 40%, 10-25. Isn't it crazy how just a few more 3-point shots can make all the difference, because they both shot 25. Free throws, Iowa was 9 of 10 for 90%, and Rutgers was 7 of 8 for 87. Total rebounds, Iowa finally won the rebounding battle, 34-31. Again, in line with what I was saying about toughness and just desiring it more. They had 11 offensive rebounds compared to Rutgers' 8, and 23 defensive rebounds, both for Rutgers and Iowa. Assists, Rutgers had 1 more assist than Iowa, 19-18. Blocks, 4-5 in favor of Rutgers. Steals, Iowa had 8 steals compared to Rutgers' 3. That is one thing I'll say about Iowa's defense this year, is they have done a much better job of getting in passing lanes and creating steals. If they would just be able to couple that with average rebounding and average defensive performance, but again, I've said that before. I'll probably say it again, sadly. Fran McCaffrey, it's always the if only. So I don't want to say that anymore. Either they're going to start doing it or they're not. Turnovers, Iowa won that. They had 9 compared to Rutgers 14. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Nice little road victory for Iowa. Let's see how they can finish this year. We'll see what the update for Drew Thelwell is. What else was I going to say? Yeah, like I said, I think they competed more. I think they were tough. And so, time will tell if this is just a one-off performance versus more of a long-term thing. I did like Fran McCaffrey's lineups today, his rotations. Might be a little too late. I wish he had done some of this earlier in the year. Anyways, for what it's worth, just for this game, I was okay with it. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment. You guys know the drill. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. If facts are feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Wish me well, guys. Wish me a speedy recovery. I'll see you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.